This is week 24. Yan po. Let's listen now to a version about Mary's willingness to give time and effort beyond the confines of her house. And this is narrated by the fourth gospel, the Gospel of John.
On the third day there was a wedding in Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servers, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now and take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although the servers who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then when people have drunk freely, an inferior one, but you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs in Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him.
Alam niyo yung gospel ni John? May pagka-special na tawag sa kanya, non-synoptic gospels. Gospel rather. There are four gospels, tatlong synoptic. Same optic, synoptic. Ano yung sabihin na? Ang pinila si Jesus, pinanganak pero umakyat sa Nazareth, at dun sa Nazareth, ginawa niya lahat ng kanyang mga pagtuturo, tapos pinakita din niya ang kabaitan ng Diyos Ama sa mga tao, sa mga nahihirapan. Gumawa po siya ng mga himala at milagro, tulong talaga sa mga may kapansanan. Pero nung bumaba po siya sa South, dun siya namatay, pero dun din siya muli nabuhay. Sa fourth gospel po kay John, iba po ang kanyang scheme. Di ba may pagka-geographical itong synoptic, north going to south and dying. Kaya Jesus, balik-balik si Jesus dyan sa Jerusalem. In fact, parang ang kanyang time frame like 7 weeks of the life of Jesus. Yun na kanyang kinoncentrate. Pero meron po siyang tinatawag na 7 signs. 7 miracles. Ikwento ko sa inyo. Ito, yung ating nabasa and the first miracle. Tapos yung pangalawa, to a royal official of Capernaum. Pero nagkatotoo ito sa Cana ulit. Chapter 4. Tapos chapter 5. Si Jesus nasa Jerusalem. Tapos may mamang, how do you call it, na hindi siya makalakad for 38 years. May milagro ulit. Tapos ang pinakamahalaga yung multiplication of 5 loaves and 2 fishes for 5,000 men. Not with women and children, not yet counted. After that, diba, naglakad siya over the water because of a stormy sea. Tapos noon, ang ika-anim niyang miracle is yung may isang bulag from birth gave him the light to see. And finally, best friend niya, si Lazarus, raised him back to life. Pito po. And all of these are called signs. 7 signs po. Ano ba isang sign? Well, actually, you see something, but it is not what it wants to say. I mean, it is not yet there. Kunyari, sharp curve. Wala ka pa sa sharp curve, pero palapit ka na. Ano yung warning ng sharp curve? Hindi baka ka mapunta sa bangin. O mabangga ka. Diba? Parang blind curve. Diba? Napaka 90 degrees siguro yung angle na yan. Or whatever. What I'm saying is that a sign is signifying something else. Pero itong sign kay Yesu Cristo, it is signifying something more. Ito nakita mo, pero there is more to see with what happened. And so here comes the first sign. Ano man nangyari dito sa Cana of Galilee? Well, nahalata ng Blessed Mother na nagkukulang yung wine. They ran out of it. And so, na-feel niya na mayroong concern ang bagong kasal. It was a wedding feast. So, nagtatakbo siya sa kanyang anak. Bakit? Bakit ba nandun si Maria? Ang nanay ni Jesus. Kasi, siguro, most probably, yung nanay ng lalaki, ng groom, parang kumari siya, kaibigan siyang matalo. At sinabi niya siguro kay Maria, alam mo, pare, meron kaming kasalan eh. Pumunta ka naman. Eh sabi siguro ni Mary, meron akong anak, paano siya? Isama mo. May barkada na bago. Sama mo na rin. So, ito parang hindi man ho gate crusher kasi inimbita at pinasama ng nanay. Ewan ko, yun ba yung dahilan bakit nagkulang ang wine? Ang lalakas ko rin na kasama ni Jesus. I don't know. That is just a surprise. Pero, ito ang katotohanan. Yung bagong kasal, ang kalalabasan nila habang buhay, maalala, kayo ba yun? Yung sa Cana, hindi lang paghanda kasi nawala ng wine in the middle of the celebration. Diba, kahihiyan yun embarrassment. Kumari niya, yung nanay ng bagong kasal. So, tumulong siya. Kusang loob po, tumulong siya. Lumapit siya sa kanyang anak. Kita niyo ang mahal na Birhen. She went beyond the confines of her comfort. She was invited to have a celebration of a wedding, but she became also anxious for the need of the newly wedded couple, and of course, the mother of the groom. Ano yung sinasabi ni Jesus? Hindi ko pa oras ngayon. What is the hour of Jesus? Ano ba oras niya? The hour of glory. Ano bang glory of Jesus? Na siya'y iakyat. Saan? Sa langit? Hindi pa. Iakyat sa krus. That's the hour. And by that, raising up to the cross, being raised up on the cross, people shall see the great love of the Father, even for His enemies. And because of that, sabi ni St. Paul, the Father raised Him up on the third day. Yun po ang glory of Jesus. Christ has died, Christ is risen. Alam niyo, ang Blessed Mother, she became the channel to begin the hour. What is that hour? To begin that glorious manifestation of God among His people. In what sense? Of His great love, of service, condescension, kababaang loob po, na pag-ayuda, pagtulong sa mga tao sa kanilang pangangailangan. Brothers and sisters, hindi naman the last person, the last woman, itong Mary in the Bible to help those in need. Siyempre, di ba? Andiyan din ibang mga babae, kamukha ni Mary of Magdala, or sa Acts of the Apostles, si Tabitha, that assisted the disciples in their ministry of evangelizing in the town, in the city of Antioch. And di naman po natapos sa kanila. Just imagine Santa Monica, how she really assisted her own son, Augustine, not only for his conversion, but for other things that the church of people of North Africa needed from her. And today, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, iba't ibang mga babae going beyond the confines of their comfort. Isa dito po si St. Therese of Lisieux, 24-year-old girl, woman, nagkasakit. And yet, she made it possible na in her sickness, hindi siya lalo pabigat sa iba. Bakit? Sabi niya. Kasi sabi niya, tout est grâce. Everything is grace. It's a French phrase, very much attributed to Saint Therese of Lisieux. Tout est grâce. Everything is grace. And therefore, the attitude of Therese of Lisieux, of Tabitha, Mary of Magdala, Therese of Calcutta, Monica, and so many other women is not just to look into themselves and just have a quiet life, but they could also be disturbed. And that is the Blessed Mother to us. What a nice example for women to be able to see the needs of the church, the needs of other Christians in their neighborhood, and even get themselves involved in the life of the parish. Because some situation of the PEC, or let's say of a church organization, requires someone to help the church to be present in the lives of the poor. Let us listen to a testimony of a nearby parishioner, to a nearby parish here where I'm staying, how she's giving her life to the benefit of the parishioners of her own parish.
A blessed day, everyone. I am Susan Reyes Loya, and I am here to share my life as a servant of God by being an educator of the faith. I am now 58 years old and married for 35 years. I grew up in a Catholic family, reared by prayerful parents who for a long time were volunteer parish workers. Since I married early at 23, I devoted my time to my family and at the same time built my career as a human resource practitioner. In my heart, while I am a devoted wife, mother, and employee, I always have that spirit of being a servant of the church. I calculated the years that my children will not be too much dependent on me and their father in their studies. Thus, I planned in my mind and said to myself that at 40, I can volunteer to serve the church. God knows my heart. In fact, He called me at 39 years old, a year earlier than my plan, and so I submitted myself. We were at that time members of the Couples for Christ community. Our parish invited me and my husband Ed to serve at the Family Life Ministry. What a grace from God that Ed was open to serve with me in this ministry. We were trained to teach and give pre-Cana seminars. We find it fulfilling to be of help to couples entering the married life, and at the same time, teaching married couples about natural family planning. It was in this ministry that I saw myself like a teacher, a job or a task which I never wanted to do before. In 2004, I entered the ministry of lectors and commentators, and my husband followed as a Eucharistic minister. We continue to serve in this ministry until now. It was in the Family Life Ministry that I met Mila. She is a catechist of the diocese. I asked a little help from her to be part of the pre-Cana seminar to do a very short catechesis about the other sacraments. I found in her what I wanted to do, but I do not know where to start. Sometime in 2006, Father Francis Gustilo gave a retreat to our parish workers which I attended. In one of the break periods, while we chat, he mentioned that the lay can study theology and they are offering it in the seminary. It caught my attention to much surprise because I thought that the seminary is only for those wanting to become priests. His words about lay given a chance to study was in my heart. It was just there and I do not know what to do with it. I am very busy in my corporate life from Monday to Friday. a once-a-month pre-K na duty at the church, my weekend duty as a lector, and of course, my never-ending role as a wife and mother to my family. I experienced a relationship gap in the parish, and I am not happy to say it was with my parish priest. We were not at the same wavelength to the importance of the culture of life. I temporarily withdrew from my service and gave myself a break to be just a Sunday church attendee. But on the side, I helped nuns in their catechetical work. That was when I tasted the life of a catechist. I said, I am not ready. I need to learn more, to prepare more. I heard from the Sunday Mass announcements in our parish about the invitation to those who want to become a catechist. Since I am not on duty at any ministry in the parish at that time, I responded to the announcement. From the Diocese of Parañaque Basic Faith Formation, where I studied for 1 semester, I moved to Don Bosco School of Theology to take up Evangelium. I finished the 2-year course. I think it was God's plan for me to take a leave in the parish to breathe the spirit of a catechist. I am now ready to go back to serve the parish as a catechist and lector. I offered my help to Mila by taking a slot during the weekly pre-baptism seminar. My thirst to learn more increased, and since I am in my late 40s then, I do not want to waste time. In 2011, I enrolled again at Don Bosco School of Theology for further and higher studies. From being a helper to Mila and the other catechists, I was tasked to head the Commission on Catechesis and Religious Education of the parish. From 3 catechists, including me, I prayed for more and God granted my prayers. We are now 10. I think my religious studies was God's way of calling me to the catechetical ministry. I lost my job as a manager from a European company because of the European recession in 2012. Who would be prepared to lose a job? I was then in my 2nd year in my Master of Arts in Religious Studies. I felt sad to lose a good paying job and my fear of not being employable because I was already 51 then. But on the other hand, I felt joy losing my job because I can give more time for my studies. I have the faith that God will not leave us hungry. I took the risk of not going back to corporate work, and God gave me the opportunity to serve as an educator of the faith in the Catholic school setting. God is really good. He provides, and that includes resources in my task of building a pool of catechists. In 2013 and 2017, 2 consecutive parish priests were sent to our parish who are very supportive to catechetical works. It was our breakthrough to start offering a full-blown program to catechize and baptize adults. It was not an easy task of teaching them for 8 months and preparing them for the Easter Vigil baptism. It was not easy to prepare teaching modules. It was not easy journeying with them when there are times that they have other priorities during our Saturday class. It was not easy looking for sponsors to feed them a simple snack. It was not easy to leave temporarily household chores for my ministry work. Everything was accomplished with the grace of God. If not for the COVID-19 pandemic, we would have our 8th year of RCIA, the Rites of Christian Initiation for Adults. It was also challenging to think of formation programs for parishioners and church workers. With the blessing of God, our catechists are able to give talks and formation activities for church workers and public school. We made video catechesis for special church events. We spend time helping each other to prepare, and Jesus is in our midst. Admittedly, God shifted my profession to teaching, the profession which was never in my mind because I am not interested to teach. But I submitted to God's will with love. I taught Christian living in high school, and now I am teaching senior high school ABM and Hume's track. In all the subjects that I teach, I still carry my role as a catechist. I help form the youth who will be business entrepreneurs or managers and executives in the future about how Christ would want to make business leaders who value faith and morals. I share Jesus as a model of leadership. I teach, I learn, I share. God is good. As I form, I am also formed. To God be the glory. Thank you, and God bless us all.